Hi everyone, so today we're gonna be doing lesson 7. As you can see in lesson 7 what we are going to be discussing are model queries, right? So these are what gonna help us display what's in the database into the front end, right? So before we start, I think it's better for us to delete everything that is inside the database that we created previously, right? So that I can explain to make you understand. So you can just go ahead, just flash, say python manage.py flash. This is gonna delete everything in the database, right? All the tables, all the authenticated users, they're gonna be deleted. So we're gonna start from scratch. So it's gonna ask, so we're gonna say yes. So everything is deleted, right? So what we're gonna do next, we have to create super user. So I'm gonna say python manage.py. Remember, it's deleted, so we have to create again. Is it python manage.py create super user? So we're gonna use the same details that we used before. I saved them into this file. So as you can see, they're asking for username, so I'm still gonna use, let me just copy the password, copy. So the username, I'm gonna use CRM like before. And then the email, I'm gonna just say crm at admin.com. You can write any email. So the password, I'm just gonna paste. Remember, it doesn't show there, you just gotta press enter, and then so they don't match. Let me check. I paste. Yes, so we have created our super user. So we also have to migrate what's in our models into the database to create the tables in the database. So how do we do that? We're gonna say that create it's manage.py. We're gonna say make migrations. Okay, before we migrate, you have to do that, make migrations, then that's when you're gonna have to migrate. Okay, so let me just check. Let me close this terminal for now, and then let's go to the let's run the server so that we'll be able to see what's happening in the database. Server. So we go to the admin panel actually. So we're gonna come here and just say admin, and then we're gonna put in CRM, and we're gonna put in the password. We're gonna log in. So as you can see, for customer we have nothing, for orders we have nothing, for products we have nothing. So we're gonna create one, but not through this admin panel. So we're gonna create customers, products, orders through the shell, right? Using the queries. So let's start with it. So I have prepared what queries are we gonna use. So let's start by adding customer, right? So you're gonna go to your terminal and say python manage.py and just say shell. So you are inside the shell. So you're gonna say from manager, which is the name of our app, dot modals, import, and then you just say, put a star there. I don't know, is it a star or is it yeah, but you put that thing there, and then you import. Once you have imported everything, all the modals that you have created here, let me just go up, it has imported all of them: product, customer, tag, and order, right? So how do we add a customer through the shell? So let's say C1. We're gonna just say C1, and then remember the name of the table is customer, so you're gonna type this, right? You're just gonna say, there are two ways actually of doing this, but let's start by this one. And then you're gonna say name equals, so since name is a character field, you put it inside these codes, and then you write the name, which is Leroy Davids, right? So we're gonna put this one here, copy, and then you paste there, comma, and then we're gonna put the phone. The phone is also a character field, so you're gonna write a random number there, come on, and then go to email, which equals to email, let's say it's Lee, maybe at gmail.com, right? .org. You can just put in random values, and then I think the date you can just leave it like that, because you don't have to do anything there. It does on its own. It's automated. So as you can see, so yeah, so now we're gonna go ahead and add a second customer. Let me try to copy this. I'm just gonna say C2, and then copy up to here, copy, and then I paste here, and then I'll try to edit the name there. So let me check. It's cheesecake, right? No, not cheesecake, sorry. It's Tony Maker, right? So we're gonna replace Lee with Tony. So let me just yeah, so it's gonna be Tony. No. So it's gonna be Tony Maker. And let me just do it, Maker. Just delete David's. Sorry. And then the number, they just leave it like that, just to save time. You can write any number of your choice. Let me just say so I can say leader.com. So yeah, this is customer 2, and then we go here. So let's go to our customer. As you can see, let me open another terminal to run the server. CD CRM Python manage Pi. I run the server, and then let me reload. As you can see, we still have, we have 0 customers, right? So what we have to do, we have to say C1.save. That is when they're gonna appear in the database, in the admin panel, right? No, I didn't execute this one. Let me execute it. And after the execution, if you reload, you will see that Leroy Davids is gonna appear there. Then we go again to c2.save. When you save, that is when they are put inside the database. Oh, I didn't execute again. I repeat the same mistake. That is really strange. So as you can see, we have both of them. They have all the details that we put in there. So this is how you add customers. This is how you add objects, through the terminal, through the shell, right? So we're gonna use these things in the future. So add product, right? So now we're gonna add product. Let me just close the other one, the other document. So now we're gonna add product. So the other way of adding object inside the table, I'm gonna show you right now. Let's just say P equals what is the name? Is product. It's gonna be product. So it's gonna be product dot object dot all, right? And then what do we do next? We're gonna say that P1, but I'm not sure if I'm doing it correctly, but let's check. So I'm gonna say P1 name equals what is the first product name? Cheesecake, right? So we're gonna write it there, cheesecake. It's gonna be cheesecake. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I'm supposed to say P in name is equals to cheesecake, and then I just so let me check. Okay, we're not done. I'm gonna say again P dot price. So since price is a float, we're gonna say maybe 51 comma something, right? Not inside the codes, because it's not it is not a character. So we're gonna say, we're gonna also put category, sorry, it's category equals, and then for category we have these category. Let me just copy one of them there. Let me just put them inside there, quote marks. And then we have description, date created. We can leave those out. So I can just say P dot save, but then let me not save it yet. We're just gonna see that how it works. So we're gonna go here to products. We have nothing currently. If I say save, so as you can see, I'm actually doing it in the wrong way. So I'm actually supposed to say that P equals just product, right? And I'm gonna say, let me just copy these, paste it here. The space or indentation, I didn't copy it properly, so let me just copy it properly. So I'm gonna paste it here. So for name I did that, and then for price, remember you have to copy it so that it's indented appropriately. So we have the price, and then we also have the category. Then we're gonna say p.save. Let's see if it works. Yes, it works. Yes, that's the proper way of doing it. So you don't use this one. No, you don't say p, but instead you have to use this one. You start with p is equals to product, and then that is when you're gonna say p.name, p.price, and then you just put in the values right there. So what is another product? Let's add another product, which is coffee cups. I'm just gonna say p1 is equals to, I'm just gonna repeat that so that you get it, or what is happening, right? So we have p1 product, right? And then we're gonna say p1 dot, start with the name of the product. Remember, put it inside code marks, so it's coffee cups, right? That's the name of the product. Then we have p.price. Remember, the price is a float, so we're gonna say 85,23. And then we're gonna say p1 dot category. Let's say it's outdoor. You can copy one of these right here. Don't forget to put it inside the code marks. And then we're gonna say p1 dot save, right? And then when you refresh, you can see that coffee cups is right there. So the next thing we're gonna add so the next thing we're gonna add is order, right? So let's call it D, right? We're gonna put inside, then you're just gonna say order, then we're gonna say order dot, we're gonna say the status is equals to status, let's say it's pending. Let me just copy everything including the code marks. So we have pending, and we have all the dot date created. You can leave that out. Then let's go to customer. So let's say the customer name is going to be Leroy. So we have Leroy Davids. Hopefully that is cool. Let me go check what's the name actually. So what's the problem? What did I do wrong? It's Leroy Davids. And let me check. So I don't know what's the problem here. So it's Leroy Davids. This say must be a customer instance. So let me just say customer Okay, now we can leave this one out here. I don't think I think there is another way of doing that, but for now, because I want to show you something, as the lesson progresses. So let me just go here and add the order through. Let me just add the order here, then I'll say status is pending, and I'm gonna say and cheesecake, save. Let's add another order. Let me say delivered, Leroy. I'm just gonna do them quick. I just want to show you something that is very, 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 crucial for this lesson. So cheesecake, and then let me add another order. I'm gonna say it's delivered, customer is Tony, and then coffee cups. Let me just save here, so we can just leave this one out, right? So I think it's giving me a problem because you remember this is a child, right, for both customer product. So I think there is another way, a unique way of adding it. So we'll move to this one, which we're gonna be talking about iteration of query sets, right? So in this case we're gonna use the for loop. So we can say for I can name any variable, right? Or you can say for element in, let's start with customer. So in customer, so this is how we're gonna actually iterate in the future, when we create tables. So for element in customer dot objects dot all, right? And then you need to make sure that it's indented properly, it's within 4, right? That's how Python works. So we're gonna say print, then we're gonna put in the element right in there, element. So as you can see, we have 2 customers, so it iterated each element within the customer table, right? And we have Leroy Davids, we have Tony Maker. So let's move to the next one. We have lists, right? So we also have pickling or catching, right? So we can just go through this one. Let me check. We can go to, let's do this one. We can import pickle. So we have imported pickle. So as you can see, we're gonna use value list, right? Let's just say like they did, it's QS equals, let's do for the products, you can say product dot object, and then you can run this attribute which is called value list, right? And then so in product, as you can see, if I scroll up, we can print out the name and price. So we put them inside quotes. You're gonna say name, comma, you're gonna say price, and then let me see, what's the problem? Okay, I made a mistake, Python, like the spelling there, I didn't put an S, so that is very, very critical to make sure that you don't do spelling errors with Python, and I'm gonna say yes, and then let's say yes QS. As you can see, it has printed out only the name, which is cheesecake, the name of the product, only the price, right? If maybe we wrote something different there, let's say maybe let me see if it's gonna do that. Instead of price, let's put date. And let me just do this. It's giving me an error. Oh, sorry. So I have to, spelling error. You have to make sure that the spelling matches, because that's how Python operates. So we have QS. As you can see, this cheesecake and the date. This is the date and the time, right? And also here coffee cups. So this is how Python, computes the time. So that's why it is shown this way, in this form, right? So that is we just used the value list. So this one below, as you can see, let's do that one. You can say reload. Okay, reloaded. It's actually reloaded. QS, which equals to, let me do product dot objects dot all, I think. Let me see. So, and then let me just close this, and then after we do reloaded.query, right, equals pickle.load. So we'll have reloaded.query reloaded query set, right, dot query equals pickle dot loads, not dash, dot loads, then pickle dot dumps. So we have pickle dot dumps, and then what's next? And QS dot query, right? QS dot query. So we're gonna just close that one, and we just say that reloaded QS. As you can see, it returns a list of dictionaries. So it's a list of two dictionaries. We have a dictionary. This is the key value, right? So it's a list with two elements, which are dictionaries. And then we move to the next one. We also have what we call len, which is len gives us the length of our object. Remember, like, if you want to know what product has which elements, you can just say p. Let me just say pro equals, then I'll say product dot objects dot all, then I press, then let's see what pro. So as you can see, we have two elements. So if I say len, then I say pro, Remember, pro is this one. It's going to tell us how many elements do we have within this table, right? And then let me just check, is it list or what? Let me see if it's gonna work. All right, let me just go there. All right, actually it's list. And then I say pro. You see, it's gonna return a list of the elements within that table. And then let's say that, remember, order is the child, right? And then we want the orders that are specific to a certain customer, right? We have what we call a get function, right? So let me check, let me show you something. If I say customer, right, I want to see the customer ID. Let me just say cus ID, right? I'm not going to type this again. Let me just copy it. So equals to customer dot, we have what we call a get, right? Dot object dot get. So we are getting a customer using their ID, the customer ID. So that's a get, remember, get, right? We're gonna use this, I think, as we progress with the tutorials, right? Let me just say cus ID. As you can see, customer with ID 1, it's Leroy Davids. So we want orders that are specific to that customers. How do we do that? We're gonna say that cus, you're gonna say cus ID right? Remember, cus ID is this thing here, is this one, customer.objects, right? And then what we're gonna say, we're gonna say dot order set, the child, order set, and then you say dot all. You see, it's gonna show us the orders that are specific to that customer, right? So let's go to the next customer. Let's say cus 2, right? You can name the variable whatever you want. It's 100% up to you. So we're gonna say customer dot, then we're gonna say objects dot get, and then we say ID number 2. So we get the customer with this ID. So we have cus 2. So this is the customer with ID 2, right? Remember, this ID is set by default, right? When you put an object inside a table, it's given a default ID, like yes, even though it's not shown in the admin panel. So we will say cus 2 dot objects, no, dot order, and then we say set, right, dot all. You see, it's gonna print out the orders that are made by this customer. So we get the customer by their ID because it's unique to them. It's very unique. So we don't have any other customer with this ID. Remember, that is a one-to-many this is a one-to-many relationship. As you can see, if we look at the order and we look at the customer ID and the number of orders that they could make, you see, each customer has a unique ID, but they could make multiple orders, right, that are linked to their ID. Yeah, so we also have filter. So you can filter, like you can go here and just say, let me check if it's gonna happen. Let me just say fill is equals to order dot filter. It's order dot objects, objects dot filter, and then you say name, and then you say Tony Maker. I think I did it in the wrong way. Let me check if I filter by ID. Let me say ID is 1. And then if I say fill, yeah, so this is where we end with that. As you can see, the orders that are made by a customer with this order, it's only cheesecake. So yes, these are the queries. Yeah, but on the previous era, I think what I should have done is like let's go to order. As you can see, we have customer, we don't have name. I think that's why it gave me an error. Let me try it out. I would say customer, and then I'll come here and say but I think it's also gonna give me a problem because of this, but let's check it out. So I'm gonna say customer, and then I'll write name, which is, hopefully it's gonna work, but I doubt. Let's check. So it's not gonna work because these values are foreign key values. They are not like a character field or like integer field or a float, so that's why it's not like giving us it's not, so like we are not able to to perform the queries, to manipulate them, but then when we are inside the template, it's gonna we'll have to think of our own ways of dealing with this. You can we just go here, Django model, you can just search this query set. You can come here, and then you're gonna come here, and then you can explore like some of them. It's a lot of them out there, and this is very important, so that you are able to let your users to interact with the database, right, and also to fulfill the users requests. So this is very important. You can come to this site, and then you will explore and see what's going on there. So this is where we end. I'll see you into the next one.